Maria Shriver's voice carried a weight the world could feel, a voice shaped by decades of witnessing pain, triumph, loss, and resilience. And this time, she used it for someone she loves deeply. Because when Tatiana Schlossberg, Caroline Kennedy's daughter, a woman who always seemed to stand quietly in the background of a legendary American family, finally stepped forward with the most vulnerable truth of her life, Maria didn't hesitate. She wrapped her words around her like a shield. It all began on November 23rd. Tatiana published a raw, soul-bearing piece in The New Yorker, revealing something no 35-year-old mother ever imagines she'll have to say out loud. She has acute myeloid leukemia. Not just the word cancer, but the kind that strikes fast, steals normal life in an instant, and demands everything a person has just to stay alive one more day. And Maria Shriver, after reading every word, couldn't stay silent. In her newsletter, she wrote that Tatiana's honesty would take your breath away. And she meant it. This wasn't a story crafted for attention or sympathy. It was the kind of truth that rips open your heart, reminding you how fragile every single moment truly is. Tatiana's world changed just hours after giving birth to her second child in May of 2024. A moment that should have been filled with the warmth of new life quickly turned into a battle for her own. One minute she was holding her newborn, the next she was being rushed into medical tests no mother wants to face. Doctors told her words that would permanently mark that day in her memory. It's leukemia. Acute. Aggressive. Immediate treatment required. What followed were weeks at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. Bleak, sterile hallways becoming her new landscape. Machines becoming her daily soundtrack. Then a bone marrow transplant. Then hope. Then relapse. And then the grim re-entry into the world of clinical trials. One doctor said he could keep her alive for a year maybe. A sentence that doesn't sound like medical advice. It sounds like a countdown. And while anyone else might have broken under the weight of that truth, Tatiana did something different. She wrote about it for the world. She turned her deepest wounds into words that others fighting similar battles might cling to. And Maria Shriver saw that bravery and honored it publicly. But this story isn't just about Tatiana's fight. It's also about the love that surrounds her like armor. Her husband, George, has carried mountains on his shoulders, doing everything for her that she physically couldn't, lifting her when she felt too weak to stand, advocating for her when her voice trembled, staying awake on nights when fear was louder than hope. And her parents, Caroline Kennedy and Edwin Schlossberg, along with her siblings, stepped in without hesitation. For a year and a half, they took turns raising her children, sitting beside her in hospital rooms, holding her hand, smiling through their tears, trying their hardest to hide their own suffering just to give her one moment of peace. And if you're watching this, let this sink in for a second. This isn't a celebrity headline. This is the story of a woman who didn't ask for applause or attention, just understanding. Just a moment where the world sees her not as a Kennedy, not as an author, but as a human being still fighting, still hoping, still holding on. And listen, if stories like this hit your heart the way they're hitting mine right now, if you believe in humanity, in courage, in truth being told without filters, then pause for 1 second. Smash that subscribe button so you can stand with us whenever we bring light to stories that matter. Don't miss out on the voices that deserve to be heard. Because even though Tatiana's journey is filled with pain, it's also filled with a kind of strength most people never witness up close. She is still in the fight. She is still writing. She is still letting the world into her reality, even when that reality is terrifying. And Maria Shriver, like millions of people who've now read Tatiana's story, wants her to know she is not fighting alone. And if you're still here, still listening, still feeling this story deep in your chest, hit subscribe right now. Not for numbers, not for growth. Do it because stories like Tatiana's remind us why empathy still matters in this world. Her battle continues, and we continue with her.